still have about 2 minutes before we get started. Just want to let you know you are in the right place for the sounds of the slammer or the cell door demonstration. Does anyone have any questions in our 2 minutes before we get started?
Can I get water?
No, you know why? Because these doors are probably about 100 years old now. If I put you in a cell, there's a pretty high chance.
That's okay. Once in a lifetime, maybe.
No, it means I get to stay here with you. But no, yeah, half the time the doors, especially on the lower end, because we don't really work on those, there is a chance that they're real. The ones up here that we do for the demonstration, you'll see, for the most part, 90% of the time, they work as
You guys
We do. We do, yeah. It's a funny story. During the pandemic, right, 2020, when nobody was here, nobody was working the doors, nobody was lubricating any of the mechanics on the inside. When we came back, they were all rusty. Yeah, we had to replace a lot of the parts up top just to get this going. Yeah, so it was almost out for about half a year. Yeah, before we could start doing this.
They didn't do that again. They'll send somebody out to people move.
Yeah, now they know. Any other questions, folks?
Where are the ghosts at?
Ooh, that's a good question, because they've been hiding away from me. I haven't seen any.
D14.
D14? Everyone's been bringing up D14 today. Yeah, D14 is one of our cells in D block, hence the letter, and we hear it's the most haunted. But again, I haven't seen anything myself, so if you have footage or photos of anything, please show me.
Can we turn out the lights while it's like the
Because you're going to run in her, you know? That's the plan. I'm on to you. All right, folks. Any final questions? You all stayed till the last vote. You must have something. No, you're just here to see the cell doors. You're excited to see the slammer. All right. Is this scary? It is not scary, no. It can be a little loud because it is moving all these doors, and the doors are metal, right? If it's too loud, you can just close your ears like this and then just watch the doors. Does that sound good? All right. All right, folks. Let's officially get started. So once again, welcome to the final program of the evening here on Alcatraz. My name is Ranger Roger. I am happy that you all stuck with us here till the last vote. We are here to learn a little bit about the cell doors. Now, what makes these cell doors so special, right? You see 4 blocks, A, B, C, D, full of these steel doors all around you, built to hold men here in the prison. The thing is, not all of these doors are the same. Now, you may remember from your audio tour that A block, over to your right side, was the old military portion of Alcatraz. Right before we were built to hold America's worst of the worst, men like Al Capone, Machine Gun Kelly, or Robert Birdman Stroud, we had military prisoners. These were soldiers that maybe got drunk on duty, or they got into a fight with another soldier. They were far from America's worst of the worst. The whole idea was to bring them back into military service to serve in the army. Those doors had a different way of opening than what I'm going to show you. For those doors, what the guard would have to do is take their set of keys. They would have to walk in front of the door, such as door number 1 here, unlock it one by one, and then have the door swing outwards towards me. So I want you to imagine, if I was up top as a guard, and I was opening the door for a man who, let's say, was having a pretty rough day, and he wanted to hurt me, right? What's to stop him from kicking open that steel door as soon as I unlock it? All of a sudden, I go tumbling past the railings, down 3 floors, hitting the hard floor on the bottom. That's why in 1934, we came up with this new system for this prison. officer operating these new doors, I was safer than what I had described earlier with A-Lock. First of all, I could control all 13 doors on my level on this side of the cell house from this game box right here, all 13 doors. Second, I'm nowhere close to the doors at all. If a man wanted to escape, as soon as I open the door, let's say they come charging at me, I would have the protection of hiding behind the gang box here just in case. Furthermore, if you look above you here, you'll notice in the fencing here, this is called the gun gallery. This would have been the armed correctional officer, the only one on the floor, this side and the other side, with the keys and also the guns. So anytime I was opening the door, they'd be able to watch just in case anything was happening. Now, what exactly am I actually doing though? To operate these doors, it's a 3-step system, right? The first is called the selector lever. It's this lever here that just goes up and down. Don't worry, you can watch it later. I'm gonna open the one on the bottom. Selector lever that goes up and down. So you imagine inside the box are the numbers 1 through 13, one for each of these doors. So let's say door number 1 is what's selected. Step 2, I'm gonna operate this lower lever called the clutch. All that does is it engages a metal pin at the top of the door, in this case door number 1, so that it's engaged. For step 3, it's the hammer, that big swinging motion that I do back and forth. All it does is it moves a giant metal rod on the top of the door, and depending which door is engaged, it either opens or closes the door based on the position. So hammer. To close it, I do the exact same 3 steps, except now that the door is open, the hammer is going to move that bar to close the door instead. Door 1 selected, clutch, hammer. Now, what if I wanted to open specific doors, right? The men here on Alcatraz were expected to work as part of their time on the island. So let's say a couple of men was working in the kitchen. They got the privilege of getting out of their cells earlier than all the others because they had to go and make breakfast for the guards and the other incarcerated men here. So they'd be able to leave first. What I want from you all is to just yell out 3 numbers from 1 through 13 for me to open. Go.
8.
7.
13.
8, 7, and 13. All right, 7, 8, 13. We'll go that way. So what I'll do is move my selector lever to number 7 first. Clutch it. Then 8. And then 13. Now, as I was saying, these doors are about 100 years old, so some of them may work, some may not. Let's see what happens if we get 7, 8, and 13 all together. Here we go. How's it look?
Good.
7, 8, 13. You know how I can tell? You all notice that red strip of paint next to the door?
Yeah.
Now imagine you were a correctional officer, right? It's vital to know if a door has been left open, just in case. Now to close it, same exact process, but 7, 8, and 13, so I do it 3 times. So we're on 13, close. 8, and 7. Perfect. Now, how many of you here wake up every morning to the sound of an alarm? Wow, not a lot of you. Everyone else just wake up naturally. Yeah, you got the TV out. So, for a lot of these men, you know, the sound of these steel doors slamming and opening, you would think was the stuff of nightmares, right? You would get locked into your cell at the end of the day for 13 hours. But you know, for a lot of these men, they actually said that that sound that they heard, the sound of the slammer, was a sound of comfort. You imagine a day on Alcatraz where you would constantly have to watch your back, right? You had 300 other men in here for who knows what they did, that they might want to hurt you. But once you heard that sound at the end of your night, you knew you were safe, right? Just like the correctional officers knew they were safe with this new system. Now the incarcerated man can focus on themselves, either going to sleep, thinking through what they did, but either way, they didn't have to watch their back. So I want you to imagine, I'm gonna slam all the doors, all 13 of them here, but imagine if all the gang boxes were going off at once. This would be the alarm that you would hear in the morning. Folks, so with the last couple of minutes that we have before the cell house closes, as I said, I'm going to go down and open that gang box right there. If you want to take a look at the inner workings of what I just did. If not, you're going to exit straight down to the dining hall. But I just want to say thank you all for joining us here on Alcatraz. Please have a wonderful rest of your night. Thank you.
Thank you.